So we've taken the rudder off, but the steering is still stiff. So obviously it wasn't something between, well, of what we've taken off. So Liam's just taking the gearbox out. Looks pretty ranky.
Well, one of the gearboxes for the steering. This is the one that connects the outdoor steering to the steering rack. Then the steering rack goes into another gearbox, which joins the one from the inside, the steering wheel from the inside.
So it could be that one.
So it could be that one, but I don't want it to be that one because that's awkward to get at. I genuinely don't know how I'll get it out. But although it moves freely, you can see it's full of crap. It's just old grease, so I'll clean it out, re-grease it, and although this isn't the issue, it will help.
Well, we think it's not the issue.
I'm pretty sure it's not the issue.
Clean it up, re-grease it, put it back in, and then feel the steering. That's what we're doing. We're just trying to eliminate.
Try not to take that main junction box out, because I honestly don't know how I'll get it out. It will have been put in, I would imagine, before the deck was put on top of the boat. So I have had a little look, and I genuinely don't know how I'd access all the bolts without cutting massive parts of the inside of the boat out to access it.
Surely not.
I'm not going to do it, but I won't do that.
Well, let's not even think about that yet. Let's just get this cleaned up and see how it goes. And Evangeline and I are going to get on with cleaning the inside of the boat. Oh, we've got lots of fresh water in a washing machine.
Yep.
Get the cushion covers washed.
Can you get me some
She's sweeping the floor.
tissue to wipe my hands, please, so I can touch.
And then we're going to clean the carpets.
Alright, so I've got it all apart. This is the junction box for the steering mechanism that goes from the wheel outside. And this allows the steering mechanism to change direction basically from going down to then coming out. And if you remember from the previous clip, it was absolutely full of gunk, like full to the brim of just old knackered grease. So I've cleaned it all out.
The hole in your...
Oh, we can blur that out. Yeah, I've ripped my shorts. So I've cleaned it all out. I've cleaned the gearing mechanism, so that sits in there like that. That attaches to the rod in the pedestal, turns, which then in turn turns the rudder. So I'm going to re-grease it all up,
put it back in,
it
and
back together.
Hope that the steering is then not stiff anymore.
Solved it.
Oh, that'll be wonderful.
Let's hope so. So let's get it re-greased. Alright, so I found the problem why the steering was so stiff. This is one of the linkages this is the linkage that comes out of the, don't you call it, like joining box, where the inner steering wheel meets the outer one to go to the rudder, and it's completely seized. I should be able to move that. If you look at this one that I've had to take off as a big thing because I'd already put it back together, but that moves freely, so you should be able to do that with it super easy. Try not to get grease everywhere, whereas this one is just, I know I'm not particularly strong and it's covered in grease, but I can't move that at all. So that's our issue.
I'm so glad we found it. And it's nothing major.
No, I just need to work out how to get it apart, to clean it and make sure nothing's damaged, and that's why it's seized.
Yay.
What a way to spend a Sunday afternoon, when you see all the locals going to the beach with their bottles of wine.
That's how boat life works though. We do all the
You watch everyone else having fun.
No, you do all of your work, not necessarily on a weekday. We don't have the social construct of a working week when we live on a boat.
No, but I would like a glass of wine on the beach. Sounds quite nice.
Soon. I've got to get out the boatyard. I've got to get somewhere away from these winds that are coming.
Right, let's see if I can get it apart.
Okay, Evangeline and I are going to carry on making pizza dough. Excuse the mess of the boat. We've pulled the carpets up and washing cushion covers and everything, so pulled the carpets up to wash them. They're outside. And also Evangelina's naked. She's always naked. She doesn't like clothes. She's helping me by eating bread dough, really. She loves it. She also just loves to eat flour. Yeah, I don't know. Toddlers are weird. She's got her actual lunch there. Leftover lasagna from last night. But no, she wants to eat flour and bread dough. You're a good helper though, aren't you? Yeah.
The next day, we got the bus into Santa Cruz so that we could go to some chandleries.
Well, we've had a relatively successful day in Santa Cruz. Evangelina's had a very successful day. She got a new toy, found it in the reduced section. A tractor. We've got some anti-foul, but we didn't get reef hooks. We need new reefing hooks and we didn't get them. Partly successful. And we missed our bus, so we got a while to wait now. But it's okay because we're playing with tractor. Yeah, tractor.
I've done it. I fixed it. It's free. It moves. Oh, let me show you what I did. So, just to recap, this was completely seized, like rock solid, wouldn't move at all. I've finally managed to free it. So I'm so relieved. Now we can splash tomorrow, we can go in the water tomorrow, carry on sailing. So what I did was I soaked it overnight in some diesel because I didn't have any oil. I wanted to use oil, but I didn't have any. But I had some sort of old diesel. So I soaked it in that overnight. Didn't really work. Cleaned it up well, but it didn't really work. It was still seized. So I resorted to a big hammer and some grease. So all I ended up doing was putting it in the vise. You know how a vise works, don't really need to show you. And then I was getting this socket, and there's something I saw online about how to free up these, which you put that over there so you're not hitting this, you're hitting around it. Hit it with the hammer on both sides, and then give it a gentle tap side to side, and it freed up one side. One side became really free. Like, that's all it took. It was that side. It moves nice and simple. This side, however, was a lot more tricky. I did the same technique, but it just took a lot longer. But I've managed to free it up, and with some help from some grease and a few more heavier handed whacks with the hammer, she's free. So now I've got to fit her and hope that I can remember how it all goes back together. Should be easy enough. As long as it works, who cares?
Ahí, cálzalo, suelta algo, cálzalo.
The rudder is successfully back on. Well, very almost. One more bolt to go, Liam. Or just ignore me then?
Oh, sorry, yeah. One more bolt to go in.
Just painted the bits where the stands were. Gone black, by the way, because we didn't have a choice. It was red. It was red or black, but yeah, I think it looks pretty good. So yeah, I've just filled in the bits on the bottom that we couldn't get to when she was on the ground, and the bits where the stands were. And then we're almost ready to go. It's pretty good because the yard lifted us before their lunch break. So they lifted us about 1 o'clock. They have their lunch break between 2 and 3. So we've got until 3 o'clock at the very earliest to get the rudder back on and get the bits of the anti-foul on that we couldn't do while she was in the stands. So that's pretty awesome. And then we're going to stay a night in the marina, just on the waiting pontoon again, rather than going into the berth for one night. And then we're going to set sail tomorrow. And I am not going to miss being in the boatyard. It hasn't actually been as bad as I expected, but living up there, climbing a ladder every day with a toddler, it's not the most fun thing. Been nervous about her falling off, even though I am certain that she couldn't really, that like is kind of impossible because the lifelines come up to her shoulders, so I don't think she can possibly fall off, but still, obviously, it's pretty nerve-wracking. And the other thing is when she does a poo in the potty, and obviously we're not allowed to use the toilet on the boat, so we have to carry it down the ladder and then walk to the toilets, which are down there and turn left. It's not the most fun journey to do, carrying a potty full of poo, but shouldn't have to do that now unless she needs a poo before we splash in the next 2 hours. So yeah, looking forward to being back in the water again. But you've definitely enjoyed watching all the tractors, haven't you? Yes.
We are destined not to leave the Canary Islands. Hear that noise? That's the travel lift. No, we're not going back in the water. We've already done that. We're already in the water. We've seen that. What's happening is we're being lifted back out to go back to our stand. Because the rudder, we believe the rudder seal, the rudder stop seal, has developed a leak between taking the rudder out and putting the rudder back in again. So we're coming back out the water to replace it because it's letting in just a bit too much water. How frustrated are you?
Honestly, if I was superstitious, and I'm not, but if I was, I would think that this boat is cursed and that it is the ghost of some Tenerife woman that's destined to keep the boat here in Tenerife. Why can't we leave Tenerife? Why can't we leave? When we do leave, it's going to be the best thing ever.
Yeah, we're having a right laugh.
What's Dada doing?
Those guys will be hating us right now, the lift operators. They finish at 5 and the current time is 5:02, 5:03 now, and we know what the Spanish are like for wanting to finish on time. So I don't think we're in their good books.